Welcome to Love Them Knives, and we are back from Texas Blade Show. Brought my honey bunny with me. Thank God she kept me awake in the car. We drove. I made this decision so late that airfares were pretty high, and you know what? I just wanted to have a road trip. I wanted to get out on the road and spend a couple of days going across the southern states. I'd never gone I-10 all the way across through New Orleans and through Nolens and up through East Texas country and stuff. So I'd never done it before. I thought it would be interesting to see that part of the country and kind of just like be bored to death driving, because I needed to get bored to death a little bit. It's been very intense here. So, and then of course I delayed my March knife sale to the 25th for Patreons. The 27th of March will be for public, okay? But I wanted to do this video because I went to the Texas Blade Show, drove all the way across, all the way back, so about 2,700 total miles over and back. And I wanted to put something on my YouTube channel because I put about 60 different posts on my Instagram, which carried to Facebook as well. And then also I'm going to put some more. I haven't put all the posts on Instagram yet, but I brought my microphones and everything. I meant to do like full length videos I could put on YouTube, but I didn't end up doing that. The thing is, these shows here are different than SHOT Show. SHOT Show in Vegas is an industry trade show. The public is not allowed, okay? So nobody's buying and nobody's selling. So in the SHOT Show, I can go to Seth at We Knives and he's got time to walk me through the new offerings for the year, and we can do, I actually did it with Cougar Kyle, but you know what I'm saying, okay? And on these shows, these blade shows are retail shows, okay? They are selling their assholes and elbows, and so they don't just are so busy and so many people around their table. It's just really difficult to do that. Now I saw Jared and his wife, Jared Neves and his wife, and hold on, I got a picture somewhere. So here's Grant, a buddy of mine that came up to me at Texas Blade and says, I recognize the voice. Are you LTK? And I go, yeah. But this is Jared. He's getting old. He's not attractive anymore. There's me and Jared's wife. Just kidding. Now, they took time. I kind of reached out and grabbed them by the collar. They were walking by. But, they took the time to have a picture with us and stuff. And even, Jared was asking me if I had a little bit of time to do a on-camera thing. And I didn't respond very quickly. And I don't know if he thought like I was declining or something. I wasn't. I was just like having a senior moment. But he says, are you going to be in Atlanta? And I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, maybe we could do something there. And it was pretty much shoulder to shoulder here and pretty intense and difficult to carve out a little place to even stand there and do any kind of videos and stuff. Of course, I had my LTK shirt on underneath that. But in the mornings, it was cold. So I must have just arrived pretty much when this shot was taken. But of course, it was funny because Jared he's plowing through the crowds of people, right? And his wife is trailing behind in his wake. He's kind of like this icebreaker, and she's like following the wake, so she can get because it was crowded, shoulder to shoulder. And of course, she's got the camera and the mic and everything. So she's like, co-pilot and all things probably to keep him organized. But so this was great. We were over near the We Knives table when this was taken. But yeah, it was great. Really enjoyed it. It's 2 days. It's Friday and Saturday. Early birds get in at 10 a.m., but I didn't get early bird passes, so I got in at 10:30. And then till 6 p.m., I never stayed till 6 p.m. And especially Saturday. I mean, sometimes some of the custom makers, if they're done selling their stuff, they pack up and they go. So, but Texas Blade, let me tell you, last year was the first year for it to be Blade Show Texas. You know what I'm saying? Before that, the Texas show was not an official Blade Show. Okay? And so last year, Roseanne, my wife, and I went, and afterwards she goes, "That I wasn't overly impressed with that." Of course, we were used to going to SHOT Show in Vegas, which is like hundreds of thousands of square foot of craziness, but they're all guns and blah blah blah. But even Atlanta, is I'd say about 3 times bigger than this. Okay, and I don't know about Blade West; I've never been there, but so that's that in a nutshell. But I heard, okay, I mean, the guy that now owns, of course, he owns Blade Atlanta and Blade West, he owns this, and this is the second year, and it was bigger. It was bigger. There were more, especially manufacturing. Smoky Mountain was there, CRKT, and a bunch of others were there, okay? So, he has a list of at least 200 more people wanting to exhibit there. This Texas Blade, just keep this in mind, this may get really huge. I can even envision that in maybe, 7 or 8 or 10 years, this might be as big or bigger than Blade Atlanta. And there's good reason for that, right? It's centrally located in the United States. Plus, Texas is actually a free country. And so, you're not going to have political issues here with Texas as well. And there's a lot of custom makers in the Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, that kind of area. So there's a lot of reasons why this could get really, really big. Now, I want to give a shout out to Wild Tribe Tactical because Roseanne and I dropped in on their barbecue. And, I told Derek of Weeby Knives San Francisco. So look up Weeby Knives San Francisco on Instagram. And the thing is, he has a brick and mortar store out in San Francisco, okay? He doesn't really have a website. He gets so much foot traffic and also orders through his Instagram that he doesn't need a website, okay? He does actually have a website. There's a website you can find, but you can't do a shopping cart. You can't buy anything, okay? He doesn't have products posted on that. But I was jazzing him because I saw him there last year, and I was just jazzing him. I said, because he and some others were asking me if I was going to go, and I finally decided kind of at the last minute to go. And I go, if I'm going to go, I want to go to that barbecue you went to last year with ProTech. And he says, oh, yeah, you can. I was just busting his hump. I didn't expect to get invited. So, and then he says, oh, yeah, come on. And I go, no, I'm not, because you don't want to impose. I'm not going unless I get a formal invite from the people holding it. And sure enough, a few days later, it came in the mail. So we decided to go. And I jazzed him, and really it was a little uncomfortable because I kind of imposed. I think I did. So, but it was nice, and the barbecue was awesome. And Caleb, who's the head of Wild Tribe Tactical, I don't know why he's doing this, because this guy can do barbecue like I've never seen before. I mean, I've eaten a lot of good Texas barbecue, but this guy, oh baby. I was going through the line. He had these big beef rib bones. Okay, and I've seen barbecue beef rib bones. Yes, I get. Like, have you ever seen the cowboy steak where the big bone and then you got the ribeye thing attached to it, right? It's a big old rib. That's the size of the beef rib bones that he had barbecued, along with chicken, and then we had potato salad and beans and all that stuff. Okay. I needed a guy on each end to spot me on the rib to lift it so I could It's like, oh my God. And it was awesome. Actually, I went through the line and he was standing on the other side. Caleb is not a small man either. I'm 6'3", 265, and he's bigger than me. Okay? He's a big guy. And so he says, I said, oh, you got Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. And I go, and he goes, yeah, that's for the chicken. You don't need it for those beef ribs. Okay, you don't need sauce for them. And spoken in true Texas style, right? But while he was looking the other way, I did put some Sweet Baby Ray's on my plate. But, oh, mama. Oh, mama. Okay, so that was great. They had a thing, okay? And ProTech was there, etc., etc. So, of course, in the middle, ProTech, David Wattenberg, right there. And they were taking some pictures and stuff since they were posing. I jumped up and at least took a picture, but I wanted to let Wild Tribe know that I really appreciate them putting that on and allowing me to be there. So check out Wild Tribe Tactical. They have a website. Pretty much it's Microtech, ProTech, but they have apparel and gear and stuff like that. So check them out online, and it looks like fairly new Instagram as well, and so I'm following them too, okay? So I snuck into when they're just being set up here. You go, there's no people here. Yeah, of course there's no people here because this was Thursday. This wasn't Friday or Saturday. This was Thursday. And so they were all in setting up, and this was like Thursday afternoon, probably 4:30 or something like that. So Jim O. Young, the designer of the Synergy 2, well, the Synergy, and of course Synergy 2 was a wee knife, and then Synergy 3, Synergy 4 is going to come out. It's going to be a monster, huge knife for Civivi, etc. It will come out in, I think, 4 SKUs, right? So it's going to be like Tanto, trailing point, all blacked out, and then maybe a G10 gray handle, etc. Okay, so these are the guys that were standing around talking. Of course, you got Seth with Wee Knives, and then you got Evan, who also, of course, he's a custom knife maker, and you may have noticed his Instagram. I mean, everything's a learning experience for me, okay? Of course, Justin Lundquist, you know him. He's done a quadrillion designs and stuff for everybody, it seems like. But especially, Kaiser, etc. Now, Evan won Best of Show in a couple of categories. Best of Show Custom Knife. Best of Show Custom Knife. Okay, not just Best Custom Slip, but he also got Best Custom Slip Joint. So he got both, okay? So check his stuff out. This is an example, and this is an Instagram. So check him out on Instagram. Here's information here. All right? I mean, to hand make everything on that knife. Wow. Incredible. And here's another shot of some of his knives. I find these to be very intriguing. So I might have to get on my high horse. I really like this one. Really like this one. It looks so sophisticated, so cool. So I might have to do that and get one on my channel if I can. So huge congratulations to him for that win. And of course, how did I get in there Thursday on an exhibitor's pass? This guy had an extra exhibitor's pass, and it was very nice of Leon to, he met me outside, gave me the exhibitor's pass, and walked me in. It was no big deal. It's not like, I was getting any queued up on anything necessarily. I just got to go in and kind of meet people and stuff when they were setting up, so it wasn't just a rush of humanity. There's so many people around tables. It's really hard to meet and talk to anybody. So that was great. And this is Isaac, and Isaac came down from Oregon. He's been helping Leon out on his booth for quite a while. This guy, you see, right? Okay, this is Keto USA. This is Ian. You can see it says Ian. This is a guy at the Riot booth that I always jazz. He's out of Brooklyn, New York, right? And he and a buddy of his, they flew in this time. They didn't drive down. But I mean, when they were in Atlanta in 22, they drove down, which is still a pretty good drive. But yes, he was there, and I had been at his booth, getting stuff from him, and I'll show you one of the knives I got from Ian while I was there. But yes, this is the crew, and so thank you for at least getting me in so I could talk to people. And then, of course, the first day that I went in the morning, what did I want? I want the MSI, right? I want the MSI. I wanted to see. I didn't know if it was going to be available, but Microtech was right over by We Knives, and I go, I got to check to see if I can get an MSI, and then, of course, the Stitch, both with the ram lock system, right? So here's this guy. Who is this guy? And he was pulling knives, and then they were going, oh, could you sign the box? So very nice. Anthony Marvione, really, really a super nice guy, and handing patches. I got some patches and some stickers from him as well. But he also signed my boxes. But I was worried. I mean, it was a crush of humanities you can kind of make out. And, of course, then they had an Ultratech in Texas flag colors for $180, cash only on that one. But the Stitch and the MSI were available, and most guys were standing there in line wanting the Stitch and the MSI, and I thought I wouldn't get one. I didn't think I'd get one. I finally got up to the front. I finally got one. And they brought a bunch of MSI. Because even the next day, they had more of the OD green MSIs available, okay? So, that was way cool. And guess who else I ran into? Zelric. Drinking and thinking, but Todd Knife and Tool. Todd Knife and Tool. And we were over here at Keto USA, standing outside here and blocking all his customers, of course, while we're talking. But Zelric, he's up to craziness. He is very involved in a lot of design work. A lot of stuff's going on in his world. Very surprising. But no, he, not only the Todd Knife and Tool stuff, but other types of design work and other work for other companies, etc. So he's very involved. And even though you may not, or his channel not active or as active, because I haven't checked on it for a while, but one guy made a comment like, where'd he go and what happened? No, he's very, very busy, and he looks good. Wow. So he must be eating right or whatever, but yeah, he's kicking butt, and I'm going to reconnect with him. I need him to help me on a project coming up, so I'll definitely be doing that. And then, of course, I have the Zypheus. Okay, now Friday I bought the Zypheus, and they only had like 3 or 4 on hand. Okay, there's limited edition of like 310 of them or whatever, and so We Knives does limited editions all the time. So this Zypheus, but it really caught my eye. Okay, but I couldn't afford the one with the lightning strike, Anno and the Damasteel blade and all that stuff. So this is the one I ended up getting, and because it was the only other one than the one that Seth had in his pocket, they wouldn't let me take it. They said, you can come back Saturday and get it, but we're going to submit this knife to the competition. Okay, so I come back Saturday, and I told Jim O. Young, I said, if it wins, I want a picture of my knife with the trophies, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, that night I was out and about, and I get a picture from Jim O. Young. It's like, with this knife and the plexiglass, trophy stuff on either side of it, okay? And so I go, by God. And then in the morning, Jim texted me and says, you can come get your knife. So here it is, Best in Show Factory Knife. It also won Best Factory Folder, okay, as well. So there's 2 awards from the Texas Blade Show on the Zypheus that I have in my hand, and that I have in my hand. So the Zypheus, and it's snifty, isn't it? And you know what? This is what is it? Oh God. It's at least 3.7 inch blade. Okay. So it's no more of this 3.45, whatever. Ooh, baby. Is there a 4 down here? There's a 4. Ooh, baby. Yeah, that's 3.75 all day long. And what do we got out here? Almost 8.75. So we getting crazy there, aren't we? And this is, man, hold on. I didn't want to push it all the way in. Okay, here we go. But this is super smooth. It's got an integral, this kind of twill carbon fiber thing, integral backspacer, and it's really cool. It's got a little bit of that lightning anno, I think, on the surround pivot, etc. But yeah, I like it. And of course, you can get that with a damaged steel blade. You can get it with a partially blackened blade. You can get it with whatever. And I don't know exactly when they're going to come out, but okay, there's that. And of course, the other one that really intrigued me was the Morata, okay, that had come out. And that's a bigger blade as well. And that looks a lot like a previous model that we had released. But here's what it looks like, because I had to get this. I did. This was the only other Wii knife I got. And so you got these kind of bronze stuff. And then, of course, this is that Nebula fat carbon. Okay, and then they did that lightning strike or whatever anno on here. It's not Timascus, but okay. So, baby, I can't afford that Timascus. And so let me see. 25 minutes of Jugger Jaw. See, that's the same length, isn't it? That's almost 4 inch down there, 3 3/4, 8.75 overall. We getting the big boys. Now, this is not a butt lock. This is a frame lock. And this, I believe, is also a limited edition. So, but that's a good looking knife right there. My man, you know what? I'm going to leave these on the table. Shit. Okay? Give you something to look at instead of just like hearing a voice in the background. And if any of you guys, you know about A2D, attention to detail. I didn't know about them, but I think that's their Mark I or whatever knife. And so they hand make their knives in the USA. And look at that. I love that kind of diamond plate. And he says, I couldn't get any of that. So he made it in titanium, So that's diamond plate titanium. So, I looked on their site when I got home last night. And, they got some stuff that's $650, $75. And then I think this thing was like $1,000, $1,050 or something. So really, for made in the USA, all titanium, maybe Magna Cut on the blade. I can't remember. So it's all there. And it really had nice action to it. So you might want to check them out. I didn't know anything about them. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about your company. He goes, I guess I haven't been doing my job then. So no. Not his fault, my fault for just not knowing. But they had some really interesting knives. Look at their website. They have some very interesting looking knives. So that's another one I need to circle around and grab a knife from them at some point in time. I'm going to have to loosen the wallet up and try that. That ought to be awesome. Let's close these up. because, I want to tell you also, Mrs. Heretic was there. Of course, they're from over near Palm Bay, Florida, right? Vero Beach, Florida. So Heretic Knives. And so I bought that Cleric too, OTF, off somebody's website. I can't remember, but it's a Heretic, right? And so I told them, I love that Cleric too. It's big and it's like way ass cool. And I said, I would love to get a t-shirt from you. Do you sell merch? And so she went and got one, just gave it to me. So that was really nice. I was really appreciative. So definitely that. And then ProTech, the lady there that assists Dave, I mean, she's awesome. Comes out, gives you a big hug, but she gave me a t-shirt as well. And then, of course, Seth at Wee Knives, because I said, I've never had a Wee Knives t-shirt. So I got that. I'm wearing that right now. So it's right back in here. So, and I love it. And he goes, what do you wear? I go, 2X. He goes, okay, here's a 4X. Thanks. But, he says they run small. They run small. So, now let's talk about knives that I got when I was at the show. Speaking of ProTech, there's no way to protect yourself when you got the Mordax. This was a special for the Texas Blade Show, okay? Now, we love the Mordax, right? Ferrum Forge design, all that stuff. Of course, I thought I still have a blue one. I think I do. I haven't been able to find it recently, but I thought the blue and the 20 CV from Drop, right? Regardless, they're out again under ProTech, right? And so this is like a nice mosaic little pin thing here. And then on the backside, okay, so my buddy Sean Harrison, who lives over in Cape Coral on the West Coast near Fort Myers, right? He sent me a picture, said, there's going to be 100 of these at Texas Blade, special edition for Texas Blade, okay? So he says, I want number 100, or I don't want one at all. And I go, I don't know. I mean, and I don't have early bird pass, so I don't know if I can get it for you. So I said, I'll try. So I went and Friday morning, I went in when they'd let me in, and I went back to ProTech, and that was the first booth I stopped at. And sure enough, the lady I always deal with there, she checked. She goes, no, number 100's gone. She said, I got 99. I go, that ain't gonna work, I don't think. She goes, I got a couple of prototypes. And I go, that might work. And I thought, well, even if Sean doesn't want it, I'll take it. Okay. So it's in Magna Cut. It's Blade Show Texas 2023 prototype on it. This is cool, isn't it? It's nice. This is a substantial knife. It feels good. It's fidget friendly. I mean, the Mordax. I mean, do we need to say more? Because the Mordax is awesome. So this one's going over to Sean over in Cape Coral. But you know what you want to see. You know what you want to see. You want to see these, right? So Microtech. And of course, Anthony signed the boxes, right? And this is the MSI. This is the MSI in OD green, okay, with the ram lock system. Ooh, baby. And you know what? This is a good size knife, isn't it? It's a good size knife. So it's crazy cool. And so when I do my video on this MSI, I've already done one, but it belonged to Sean, so I didn't do a disassembly. And they're saying this is kind of a self-contained lock system thing. So I'm going to do a disassembly on this, and then we'll take a look at this lock system here and how this all comes together, okay? And then, of course, right and left hand, deep carry, but it's just, this is a heavy-duty, chunky, cool knife, Okay. And it's so nice. Let me see. It's so nice that I got the tan one. So they had the black, the OD green, and the tan, but I think they ran out of black pretty quick. And I go, I don't care. I didn't want a black one anyhow. I want a tan. I want a green. Okay. So I got the tan, and I got a tan. I got a green. I thought, I'm standing there in a crush of humanity. Okay. And some people didn't look like they were all that happy to be in the crush. So I didn't want to start nothing. But I mean, I thought if I'm going to stand there for half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, till I get to the front to the case where I can order one, then I'm going to order more than one. So I got 2 of these dogs. But then, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? I mean, I'm going, what the hell? The Stitch, right? The Stitch with the ram lock system. And so I just said, might as well, right? Might as well. So, I mean, I've never measured the Stitch out to know. I mean, I think the other one's about 4 inches. Well, this is close to 3 3/4, isn't it? Overall, 8.5 inches. So that may be a little bit shorter than this. I think this MSI is close to, it's close to 4-inch blade length and close to 9 overall. So yeah, this is definitely a bigger knife than the Stitch. But come on, man. You got to have one of these. I mean, a manual ram lock Stitch. So this is going to happen. If you're going to do that, you might as well get it in the green too. You might as well get it in the green as well. So that's what I did. I got it in the green as well. I like them. I think they're pretty solid. I think these were over 300. I think these were 310, 325. These were, I believe, 270. If my memory, because it was one lump for all of them, right? I think it was $12.50 for all these. Does that make sense? So yeah, but whew. Oh, I'm gonna put you over here. This will be long term here. This Zypheus, long term, because it won Texas Blade, and I posted it like my knife won Texas Blade. I didn't mean I mean the knife that I bought. Didn't mean the knife I designed. God, my wife was like, I think people might get confused by what you were saying, dude. Okay, so, but we're just getting started. Okay, push it back, way back. Oh. You know what? This is the Launcher, and EDX, and this is Eric Oakes. He was not at this show. Okay, this came in just before I left, so I brought this one with me. Okay, this is the new Eric Oakes knife. I know it's not real big or anything, but it is. That thing is made by Riot, of course. And you can get it with Purple Haze instead of this Arctic Storm. You can get it with no inlay at all, just a solid titanium thing. Look at this. Wow. That is nice. And I guess it's also, it's a front flipper. Okay. But I'm always a thumb stud flipper guy, but check this out. So this is an aside to the Texas blade thing. But, you want to know the stats on this. But go to Oakes Works, 3-inch blade, or you could even say 3-inch. 6 3/4, 6 3/4. 3-inch blade, okay? Just, nice contouring. This is really nice. This is a really nice knife. Okay. So, we're going to put that back over here because it's not a Texas blade, but it's lovely. And, then Blade Banter. Blade Banter, QSP, right? He's been helping QSP for, he's been the USA face of QSP, really, for years now. 2 or 3, maybe 4, I don't know. So the canary, right? And then the hornbill. And this is interesting. I saw this at SHOT Show, okay, in Vegas. So that was in January. This has been hanging around for a while, right? So this is the hornbill QSP, okay? What does it say here? Sample, okay? So when they were setting up on Thursday night, and I saw David over there, I went to talk to him, and he was putting knives out, and he goes, "Ooh, I got a lot of product here for no more bigger than the table is. Whoa, this will be fun to try and manage." But you know what? This was sitting there, and I go, "Oh my God." He goes, "Yeah, you liked it at SHOT too, didn't you?" Of course, you can't buy it at SHOT, can't buy, so whatever. And I go, "Oh, this is cool. When are you guys coming out with this? And he goes, I don't know, but I think they're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. But he says, you know what? They told me I can sell the samples and the one-offs. Okay. So I go, "Oh, really?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "So this will be for sale?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, I'm going to be in Friday and Saturday, of course, but I'll be in Friday. And if I'm in time, I'd like to buy that." And then also for the canary, which there's a chain in there too. It's a neck knife. But I mean, I've got a regular canary, right? But look at this. That copper infused. Now, I don't know. I was standing there with Marshall Noble. I brought Marshall over to introduce him to David, okay? Because Marshall's going to do a production line of knives. He's a custom knife maker. He did the Goblin for Concept, and the big Goblin, Okay. So, I mean, he's been a knife maker for years, etc., etc. But, so he said, "Oh, how do you guys do that?" Because I tried to work with that copper infused, thing with blade. And he goes, "I damn near ruined my forge on messing with this thing." Of course, that was years ago. But Dave says, "I don't know. I don't know how they do this. But I think this is going to be popular enough. I think they're going to do this. I think they're going to do a run of these." And they had this and the Nebula fat carbon as well. So this is, you like that? I like it a lot. I mean, I don't know what I paid exactly. I think I paid around $270 for both. So I think this was like $160. And this might have been like $110, if that makes sense. But I did ask later. I sent David a direct message saying, "What is this material?" So I hadn't heard back yet. But I think it's a fat I think it's a carbon fiber G10 mix. I don't think it's the stuff from Hungary or Czech or whatever, specifically, but I don't know. So I'll learn up on that before I do my actual specific video on it. But that's muy loco right there. I always like the canary because I like the design of it, but that's way cool. So hold on, we got more knives, okay? So let me push these over on a tray. And I just want to show you the knives I got there. Strange choices, maybe. What you're thinking. Probably strange choices. And I had seen that this had come out, and I went to the Riot booth, and it was, they're doing it with the Crane Cutlery people, even though David Deng came. He flew in from China for this. So David Deng being the CEO, whatever, Riot Knives, right? So this is the XO-M, okay? So, and you can do this in a dagger blade, a tanto blade, whatever. And you can do this in a green micarta, this burlap record, whatever, okay? So this is CPM 3V steel, okay? So this is a 3-inch blade. Okay, and my problem with the Riot XO, and let me see what it say here. It's upside down and the box is right side up. Okay, XOM. Okay, here. And then whatever else they're saying. Okay. But I always thought this was cool being a gravity knife, but what are you going to do with it? Because when it came out, then they had a little, kind of a little sheath thing you could put over the end, remember? A little deal. But, I mean, there was no pocket clip and no lock. So the thing would just, it'd be prone to be able to do this in your pocket or whatever. And there's no pocket clip. Well, that's why you had to have the sheath thing over here to keep this contained. Now they made it to where there's a lock. Okay, now this is not the full size, right? So this is a smaller one. So there's some guys going, I want it in the full size. So maybe they'll be doing that. I don't know. I don't have the scoop. Smoky Mountain was there. This was their first year at the Texas Blade Show. And so they had a bunch of these available. So check Smoky Mountain Knife Works if you want one of these. And I think this with tax and everything was like $300, okay? So this is what she looks like. And then there's the pocket clip. Well, that's milled in there. I don't know that that's reversible. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it is, but maybe you can flip this screw to the other side. I don't know. I'll know more later when I get into it, but right? It's cool though. Now you can a pocket clip, it's locked up, you know, and you're all kinds of cool daddy now. And speaking of concept, you know, with Marshall Noble, he was manning the booth there, okay? And I got this Arcus. This is cool, isn't it? Who did this, by the way? Oh, Snap. Okay. Of course. Of course. You see a slender knife like this, what's the first thing? You know, if it's Kaiser, Concept, Real Steel, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, Snap. There you go. I think he'll be in Atlanta this year. I'm going to DM him and see if he's going to be there. But if you're at the Atlanta Blade Show, you ought to meet down at the pit, you know, afterwards or whenever you do, and there'll be people like him and Kombu, you know, and other designers, people like that you can meet, which is really cool because they're great people. But S35BN, what do you think? I like it. It's not terribly expensive. And there weren't a lot of new things with Concept necessarily, and stuff I couldn't identify, and Marshall said they didn't send some of the information along. It seemed a little discombobulated, but this is lightweight, interesting. So yeah, I just why not, huh? And so I got this from the Keto USA booth, okay, and this is not out yet. Okay, this is not out yet, but it's in my hands. Check this out. I'll be doing a review on this in not too distant future. Depends, because I've got a March knife sale to get through. But this is interesting. And this is, if you pronounce it, BAIDI. That's the name of it. Very simple. And it's a no tools disassembly knife, okay? So this backspacer, and I'll do this on my review, but not right now, but you push up on this, because this just snaps over that little pin there, right? So you pop this up off of that pin, move it forward, and then you can pull this whole backspacer out. Okay, and the end of the backspacer has a little screwdriver tip. And so you just unscrew this and then it comes apart, okay? So it's pretty easy. What do you think about that? They also had several other knives that will either be coming up on Kickstarter or being released not too distant future. And there's one that Ian at Keto USA, who's the Reich, USA representative, but Ian himself will be making under his Keto USA brand, and it's a beautiful knife. It's a beautiful knife. Check out my Instagram because I did like 60 posts, and I got more posts to put up on there. But this is beautiful. I like this knife. So I was able to wrangle this out of him. It's like, you don't want to drag this back to New York, do ya? So, I mean, he had several of these. Okay. So I got one from him. And I think this is way cool to have one that's not even out. It's not even in formal full production yet. So I just thought it was super neat. And at that point in time, I was completely broke. Completely broke. But I managed to go over to the Rosecraft because I saw Rosecraft. Oh, what does this one say here? Oh, Awanata blue or Awanata. I don't know what it's called. Okay, I saw these both, and this one is, hold on, it's the Castoria. Yeah, Castoria. So, and the Awanata, whatever. So I went to their booth. They were big at Blade Atlanta, doing a lot of advertising and stuff, had a big booth there, etc. So I thought, oh, okay, these looked intriguing. This is a slip joint. Okay, and I think this is in D2. But check it out, right? All different colors. It looked like a candy store because you could get them in everything, red and green and blue and whatever, purple, etc. But just a little slip joint. It was $25, okay? This one, the Castoria, I thought was really interesting because it looks like a traditional Barlow, doesn't it? It does. So, pocket clip, okay. I mean, at least you can reverse it if you want. And kind of like a little brass, tubing for the lanyard there, okay, area. It is a flipper. It is a button lock flipper, okay? So this is a button lock flipper. Check that out. Interesting. It was $45. It came in orange and red and black or gray and something else. I can't remember. But this is what this is right here. And I think this is D2. And I don't know if it says it anywhere. It doesn't. Okay. But that's what this was. I just thought this was way cool. And this is a sizable knife. And I'm going to get into it because it doesn't just like drop shutty right now. So, nah, it's 3 3/4 blade and 8 1/4 overall, which is kind of surprising. So that's the end of all my knife buying glory because then I was completely broke, barely had enough money to buy gas coming home. And you know what? It's time to recover. All right, I'm going to let you go. Yeah, I just thought I wanted to do a YouTube video, kind of recap my Texas Blade experience. And once again, thank you, Wild Tribe. Look at this, barbecue time. They gave me this buffet and a great barbecue meal as well. So went to Central Market. They have all kinds of craft beers. So you need some fluffy nuts, that's for sure. I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you so much. And you guys, stay sharp.